Welcome to Aging in Place Strategies and Answers with Linda Prio. Will it be possible to remain in my home as I age? Do I feel safe in my home? How do I figure out how much support I will need when my health needs start to change? What if I decide to move into a community instead? Which community will meet my needs now and in the future? Who will play a role in helping me with decision making? Do you ask yourself these same questions? Aging in Place Strategies and Answers can help you gain practical knowledge that will help you create your own Aging in Place roadmap. If you are already a care partner, a power of attorney, or in crisis mode with your Aging in Place strategy, you will learn what you need to know that you don't know. For over 20 years, I have been marketing Aging in Place services to clients and educating families and healthcare professionals in how to put aging in place strategies into place. When you utilize aging in place, you are allowed to choose where you want to live and make those decisions so that you can retain your quality of life. Welcome any new listeners that I have today, and I want to give my regular listeners also a big thank you for all your support and your encouragement. Every time you leave a positive comment or share this podcast with others, you really do a lot to support my work, as well as to support another human being who is aging or who is caring for somebody else. The Alzheimer's Association has called attention to the longest day in June, the day with the most light, or the summer solstice. Many of us recognize that term, to remind families, caregivers, and the public that while there can still be many joys to be had when caring or living or being near someone who has dementia, it still takes a village to make a difference. Typically, on the longest day, fundraisers are set up by ordinary people who gather their village and create their own unique event to raise funds that will support the Alzheimer's mission and foundation. Some folks play games, some have bake sales, some put together sporting events such as pickleball, golf, or tennis, or raise funds for the Alzheimer's Association in different ways. And the foundation uses these funds to advance the care, support, and research to help those who must live with a dementia diagnosis. Dementia is a brain disease that can damage or change a person's memory or thought process. It can also affect someone's personality, their communication ability, and other mental functions needed for daily living. The most common and well-known form of dementia, of course, is called Alzheimer's disease. Did you know that 1 in 3 seniors die from dementia? In the U.S. alone, over 10% of folks over 65 have a dementia diagnosis. Do you know who could be at risk for dementia? It's good to know risk factors. Well, number one, older adults, especially those older than 65. There are also certain minority groups, including Hispanic adults, African American adults, and American Indian or Alaska Native adults, as well as women. Now, I want to remind you that dementia is not a normal part of aging. This is a disease, And the Alzheimer's Association reports that for the first time, there are treatments available that can change the course of Alzheimer's. And while this is a tremendous step forward, the Alzheimer's Association knows that there is still work ahead of them and plans to continue their mission to help those at any stage of the disease get the treatment, care, and support they need and deserve. So the longest day is really this week. And if you want to make a difference and you want to support the Alzheimer's Foundation, then make a donation or create a fundraiser of your own to recognize someone you know that is struggling with their dementia diagnosis. It makes a world of difference to know that someone cares and that someone's trying to do something about it. Hopefully, many of you have listened to my podcast with Jonna Parker, who shared how music and memory can be very beneficial when someone has dementia. Music meets us where we are and transports us mentally, emotionally, and can even draw us in to tap to the beat or to move to the music. If you haven't listened to that podcast, you can still download it and share it with someone you know. You will learn how music can make a big impact on someone's feelings, someone's verbal skills, their pain, and even perhaps pull them out of their mind so that they can engage in simple activities. Well, before we move forward, I want to take a moment to hear from our sponsor.
The Neptune Society is the oldest and largest cremation service in the United States. For over 50 years, the Neptune Society has been proud to provide signature service to the families they've served. With a prearranged funeral plan, you can declare what you want done at the time of your passing, pay for it in advance, and not leave your survivors with the cost of your final arrangements. Call 314-266-2898. That's 314-266-2898.
And now let's return to the podcast. The dementia research reports that I have been reading are encouraging people to make lifestyle changes that can help them live and be healthier. And when you're physically healthier, it can help your brain to be healthier. In fact, I heard kind of an incredible story about a month ago, and it was about a woman who'd been diagnosed with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. And when she and her husband started doing research, they began to see some of these reports that I have been seeing surface. And so through a change in diet, reducing the number of medications taken with the help of her physician, and adding some exercise to her regular daily regimen, there was a sharp increase in her cognitive functioning. So I'm just going to let that be out there as an encourager to you as we go through this, because I know that nobody wants to hear me say the word diet. And sometimes we're not even that happy with the terms lifestyle changes. But you have heard me say before that whatever you do on a daily basis can either improve your life or cause problems. So you get to choose how you want to do this. But my job is to report to you the facts that I know, the examples that are reported to me from reliable resources, and then you, of course, can make your own decision. But let's see what other things that we can do to lower our risk of Alzheimer's disease. One of the things that is mentioned at the top of the list is to manage your high blood pressure. So if you suffer from high blood pressure, please talk to your doctor about potential lifestyle changes and medication that can help you achieve those goals, but get it under control. It is also important to kick smoking to the curb. Give up smoking. This is something that is very important, vitally important to your health. And when it comes to dementia, it can be very, very important that you consider doing this. Seek a combination of counseling and medication that can help you quit smoking so that you can have a healthier lifestyle. Also, it is important to become physically active. 30 minutes a day, what's that? But 30 minutes a day of physical activity can have significant health benefits. Am I talking about a vigorous game of tennis? Or am I simply talking about going out and gardening, mowing the grass? There's a lot of physical exercise that can be done, whether it's cleaning the house, doing the laundry, going up and down stairs. You get a lot of steps in a day if you really stop and think about it. So everybody's index table of what is exercise is different. So it's more important that you find the kind of exercise that works for you. And I will say that having scheduled exercise can be very advantageous. Not everybody is self-disciplined. And so knowing that you paid for a class and need to get there, sometimes it's just the exact threat that you need. But my thinking on physical exercise is this. I look at it as every day that I make a decision to take care of my health and to get some exercise, I'm making a deposit in my health bank. And my hope is that I have a lot of deposits in my health bank. So when I might have a health episode, that my recovery is going to be made a lot easier because I have done the diligence on the front end. Now, diabetes and heart disease are conditions that really respond well to lifestyle changes and medication adherence. So those are two other factors that will really be helpful to you if you can get those under control. But the bottom line is, wouldn't it feel great to feel great? My listeners know that I am committed to caregivers and care partners because I have been there. And while it is a very rewarding job, it really takes everything you have. So if you are a care partner or a caregiver for someone who's been diagnosed with dementia, you're going to have questions. Get those questions answered. I have mentioned in other podcasts that medication, depression, urinary tract infections, delirium from hospitalizations, and other health conditions might present as confusion or dementia. I am also going to encourage you to pursue the help you need and start making inquiries. Now, I understand that it takes time to get your mind and your arms around any diagnosis, but being proactive is a must. And in many cases, with the right interventions, a dementia diagnosis can actually slow down or hold steady. And as you've already heard from the example I gave, in this woman's case, it improved. I was actually down at Family Partners Adult Day Center the other day visiting, and the director told me that one of their participants had gone back and was reassessed, and they found out that she had actually improved by receiving the right kind of stimulation. So my guidance for you is to get online and connect with your local Alzheimer's Association chapter. They offer training, education, support groups, assessments, and peer support groups that are going to be invaluable to you. And you can usually access much of that information at a time of day that works best for you because they have it on their website. In many communities that you already live in, there are grant-funded programs that can help diagnose, assess, provide care navigation, and some education on dementia-proofing your home, as well as additional resources that would be helpful to you. Look for adult day programming in your area. Stop by, do some research, see what the costs are. Imagine this as part of the care that you can provide because they are going to be responsible for providing cognitive stimulation therapy. They're going to provide a safe environment for your loved one. They're going to provide socialization, meals, and they're going to give you respite so you can stay in for the long haul. There can also be local organizations that have created their own programming to help support caregivers and those with a dementia diagnosis. And I want you to join me next week when I am going to have my friends from the Caregiver Club talking about how they started their own foundation so that they can help people get the resources they need, get some respite monies, and enjoy wonderful activities with their loved ones who've been diagnosed with dementia. And I can tell you that you are not going to want to miss this podcast. Thank you for joining me today. Please remember that this podcast is intended as guidance and not advice. Share this podcast with friends and family who are currently in crisis mode or with people who would like to start developing their own roadmap for aging in place. Listeners, if you would like a deeper dive into a topic discussed during a podcast, please subscribe to Aging in Place Strategies and Answers, where you will be able to access premium content. Or if you would like to suggest a topic for this podcast, please contact me at linda.agingstrategies@gmail.com. As always, I value the time you spend with me.